the first event of the year, and I'm the only person here. We are aboard the cat boat, of course, and we are beating heavily into... I'm trying to make it to Dayton. I think I can make Dayton. I've got the first reef in right now, and so far it's been really, really good today. I've set and reset the reefs a couple of times, and that's been working pretty well. But I figured I'd just tell you a little bit about what it's like been sailing this boat here. So this has a standard Michalak rudder, and it sinks straight down. And what happens is when I get in that groove, there's about 3 seconds where you have no steering control at all. And then as you get some way on, then it picks up and you can feel the boat again. So that's kind of how I figure out where the groove is in this thing. But we're just beating our way. Right now we're almost due north. I passed the headland behind me over there somewhere at like almost 2 o'clock. I'm hoping that if I put some work in, we can probably make Dayton by about 3. Winds are picking up. I may put in another reef, but so far, boat's not overpowered. We're just sailing really well. As it turned out, I would not end up reaching Dayton. To get to Dayton out of Big Arm requires a course of east by north towards the Wallstad fishing axis, and from there, north by west through the Narrows. I ended up, as usual, getting my angles wrong, hugging the coast too close, and missing my opportunity. In the end, it was a beautiful easterly beat towards the Narrows, and a very, very long downwind run back to Big Arm. Sailing was great. I put in and took out my reefs, I don't know how many times, a lot. But the boat was fine. The boat was really, really fine. I had a couple of times when we were under canvas, a couple of times when we were almost over canvas, but the thought of like, oh, I need a reef, and then reefing right now is great. And on this boat, reefing is easy. The Jiffy Reef system I have, everything's at hand. I know where everything is. I practice it, and that makes it a lot easier. The thing that I've wanted to do with sailing ever since I got into sailboats was I wanted to be the solo sailor. I read stories by Andy Lynn and the Texas 200 and Tom P. and Jaguar and The Voyage of the Damn Fool, which is right here by my feet. And of course all the stories in Small Craft Advisor. And that's what I've wanted to do. I've wanted to be that guy. And for the first time, I was that guy. Because this boat would allow me to do that. Had I wanted to, I could be anchored in Dayton right now, waiting for tomorrow. Still figuring out how this boat sails, because this is really the first time that we've had real wind where I kind of had an idea of what we're doing. There were a few moments of panic, very, very subdued panic, mind you, but everything worked. I made a very important point at times to ask myself out loud and then respond to myself out loud. I wasn't able to get the reef points in, or the reef cringles tied, and it was really affecting my sail shape. And so I was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, we are going to head into the wind. We're going to take the entire sail down. We're going to put them in, and we're going to haul it back up again. So I was able to do that. But it's really, really nice to check in with yourself to make sure that this is what you want to do. Something I'm learning about this boat very quickly is it's super big when we're on land. Compared to my other boats, this is super big when we're on land. When I'm on the water, this boat is absolutely tiny. The steering is super neutral. It does unfortunately suffer from lee helm. I'm gonna try to figure that out. Definitely I want it to have weather helm if it has any helm at all, but I can be third reef in wide caps, and I can steer with a fingertip. So definitely they figured out the balance on this boat pretty well, but I do want to try to get rid of that lee helm if I can. I can't imagine what's going to happen when I have the lady and the dog in here as well, and then trying to overnight in it. It's going to be interesting. This boat has shrunk a lot, like the cockpit, right? There are a couple of boats in this class that I would consider in this class. There is the CLC pocket ship. There is the Stevenson's Project Pocket Yacht, I believe is what it's called. There's this boat. I could argue the Westrite Potter 15, but it's not homemade, and I've never really seen one. But this is a small boat, 15 feet long, 6 feet wide. I mean, I'm comfortable, but that cockpit, I understand why CLC went with the cockpit layout they did. When things start happening very, very quickly in a very, very small space, it just all happens at once. And yeah, I picked this up at Sportsman's Warehouse because I wanted to have a sailing knife that was not a folder and that was easily accessible. I like that it has the blunted tip. If you don't know, when you would sign your articles on a commercial vessel back in the day, on a packet ship or whatever, after you'd sign your articles, the blacksmith would knock the tip off your knife so that it was harder for you to stab someone. So I like the fact this is a blunted tip. Serrated edge, it's super sharp, super good. I really like it. So I'm looking out over here and it looks like the lady just got here. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I just got word from one of my paddling buddies that the forecast is supposed to turn tomorrow. If the forecast turns tomorrow, then I won't be going out. If my sea kayaker buddy's like, look out, then we're probably not gonna do that. Yeah, it's been a great day, and hopefully you'll see this.